Hello, guys, and welcome back. We're going to be reading from a blog called A Mommy Story. Now, the lady in question is Christina, Tech Geek Wife Mom, and you can read her bio. I'll give you the link over. She wrote this a while ago, and I reached out and I said, could I please read this on my channel? And I have not heard back from her, so what I'm going to do is what I do standard operating procedure, you guys know, and I will of course go over and give her a link back. When I reach out and contact these people, I give them a while to get back to me, and when they don't, I do go ahead and make the video, but then I give them a link back, and if she would say, hey, I'm not comfortable with you having a video, I will take this down. But she has a story that I actually found quite funny, because if you have one of the Furby generation from around 2013, you know they have the multiple personality disorder, which I have, and you know mine's wacky doodles, and you know I have the grumpy pants. And she has her story, which says, what happens when your Furby becomes evil? On January 9th, 2013. Okay, and this is by Christina. In the weeks leading up to Christmas, Mira had one toy that kept coming up to the top of her list, a Furby. Other items on the list would change, but a pink Furby was always there for anyone who asked, including Santa, who got an earful about how much she really wanted a Furby. So when Christmas arrived, she was overjoyed to get a hot pink Furby from Santa. Cordy got a blue Furby too. Now, there are a few things they don't tell parents about a Furby. First, it has no off button. At all. The only way to immediately silence it is to take out the batteries, which requires a screwdriver. And you know that right when you want it to shut up is the same time that all the screwdrivers in the house go missing. Sounds like Christina is not a fan. Otherwise, you will have to wait for it to fall asleep or force it to go to sleep by placing it in a dark, quiet area and ignoring it. Once it's asleep, you mustn't move it or bump it at all, or it will wake up again. Actually, quick tip, guys, in the old days, we used to cover the face for 10 seconds, or you can try the towel trick. Just drop a towel over them, and they're good. The Furby also has no volume control at all. It's loud all the time. And most of the time, it speaks Furbish, which seems to be some kind of cross between baby talk and pig Latin. Basically, it's a toy equivalent of a colicky baby. I did know some of this going into the purchase of this toy, but did not know about all the enhancements from the previous 1998 version. So she was like me. She had had a old Furb and had no idea what these new ones would be like. I really got knocked back on my heels myself. The LED eyes are cool and provide the ability for more expression of personality. It has more sensors to detect touch, and it can change personality. The old Furby would have some change in personality based on how you treated it, but this one goes far beyond that with multi-personality disorder. It has several very distinct personalities and doesn't come with the Furby antipsychotic drugs it desperately needs. Mira's Furby started out as a furry, hot pink version of a Valley Girl. A little annoying, but kinda cute. She fed it on demand and used the iPad app to translate what it was saying, and slowly learned a little English too. Well, version of English better suited to the movie Clueless, perhaps. Love that film. After a second or third day, it had the first personality shift. I didn't see it happen, but suddenly it was speaking like a cowboy and mooing at us, with chicks and cows appearing in its LED eyes at times. Mira found it hilarious, and I suffered through the noise because she liked the toy so much. You can tell Mom's not enjoying the toy at all. The next day it was back to a Valley Girl again, and even seemed to name itself Coco. It gave itself a name? It was becoming more sentient with each passing day. And then, in the middle of Mira trying to teach it to dance, something very bad happened. It started to shake back and forth. It made weird noises, and its LED eyes were flashing like strobe lights. I thought it was either having a grand mal seizure or we broke the darn thing. Then it stopped. All was silent for a moment. And then what was in front of us was a Furby who no longer had the high-pitched girly voice, but instead a deep, growling voice with angry-looking eyes. If you've all met Papyrus, you know that angry voice. Meyer's Furby was suddenly possessed by a new personality who was mean. It growled at her, and you've heard that rrrr. It snapped at her with an angry voice as she tried to pet it, and it made retching noises when she tried to feed it as if the iPad foods weren't good enough for it. Occasionally, it showed little flames in its eyes. What the F happened? Did we feed it after midnight? It was now a Furby demon, and Mira was scared of it. She backed away with tears in her eyes, her 5-year-old mind unable to comprehend what happened to her cheery dance pal, saying she wanted her nice Furby back and she didn't want to play with it anymore. And there is where I agree with the author. A 5-year-old would be terrified of Papyrus. I mean, seriously, any 5-year-old would be. If they didn't understand he's a little grouchy grouchbag. So her new electronic pet wasn't working out as well as she wanted, which means it was now my responsibility to care for. Figures. I felt like I brought home Chucky from Child's Play for my daughter. So I sat there with Damien the dark Furby glaring at me from across the room. I did what any good mother would do. I googled how to make a Furby nice again. I can assure you I am not alone in this type of Google search. There were a lot of suggestions about different things to try. I gathered up the little ball of hate and tried petting the dumb thing several times. I will hug you and love you until you are sweet again. It growled and yelled at me each time while my dog stared at me in confusion, wondering why I was petting a loud toy instead of him. Yes, Cosmo, you're smarter than the humans. Still no change from the Furby. I was a little worried it might try to bite me. Mira was still across the room, asking me to make it nice again, but too afraid to come near it. Who makes a toy that kids are scared of? What programmer thought a sociopath personality would be a super fun toy for kids? I'd like to drag that person over to our house and let him or her console my 5-year-old and explain the reasoning for this. I would actually like to see that. Then I remember Mira really wanted her Furby to sing and like music. Some link suggested music could change the personality, so I put it in front of the iPad, cranked the volume, subjected the little electronic Lucifer to Owl City, followed by ABBA. He growled and hissed at the musical exorcism at first, but slowly started to dance along to the music. You know, that grudging too cool for school kid dance, where he doesn't want to admit he likes Mamma Mia. Near the end of the second song, the Furby's eyes flashed and it shook again, and suddenly the pop star personality appeared. This one had a softer voice than the Valley Girl and likes to sing. A lot. Let me repeat, a lot. And instantly, all Furby offenses had been forgiven by the formerly terrified kindergartner. Mira had been hoping her Furby would sing and ran across the room to scoop up her prized possession, now that it was no longer, well, possessed. Stupid Furby. Since then, it slipped back to the dark side once, which then failed to me to fix again. Music does seem to be the trick to force it back to being a nice Furby again. Mira loved the pop star personalities. Her named itself Boo, which is the least offensive personality as far as Furby personalities go. Cordy's personality Furby's hasn't changed personality once. It prefers to be a Valley Girl comedian hybrid and doesn't want to change, which is both annoying and okay at the same time. I'd rather deal with the devil I know than the devil it might become. Luckily, the hours between Furby playtime have already stretched into days. I'm hoping they will eventually lose interest with these gremlins before my personality changes. This has to be my mother's revenge for the Teddy Ruxpin I adored as a kid, right? Only it's revenge with 30 years of interest. I better start planning for the next generation now. Or the Furbies will enslave the Skylanders to do what it commands with its sweet chipper voice and I'll be doomed forever. So I really liked that. I thought that was really cute. I don't like the 5-year-old got traumatized, of course. I don't think that part was funny, but I do think that it's there are parts that are funny. Like I can imagine her any angry mother dragging the developer there and asking him, "What the heck were you thinking?" Because they're like pink fluffy fluff balls. And why would you design something you know a little teeny tiny kid's gonna be getting and make it growl? I mean, dude, what were you thinking? I like it because I'm an adult and I hear all those growls and snarls. And I used to tame down feral kittens when I work with cat rescue groups. So of course I like all those growls and snarls. I'm like, yeah, go ahead, girl, snarl all you want. I'm gonna tame you down. But yeah, I can see how that could terrify a kid. So if you like what you saw, like, comment, and subscribe. And I just had to share this with you. It's really well written for one, and it's a really good story about Furbies, and it shows you something realistic, and it shows you one person's story about what was with it. It's not like a creepypasta story. It's a practical, real life story of how it was scary, and it's something the kid won't even remember when she grows up, but thankfully she'll have her mom's article, and of course her mom will have fun embarrassing her when she's a teenager. Hey, look at this article. Remember when you were scared of your Furby? Ma! Okay, guys, I hope you liked it. I, of course, will send a copy of this video to the authoress so she knows I made this, so, you know, I'm not bogarting on her article. Okay, guys, I will see you guys later, and I hope you all have a great weekend. Try to stay warm for those that may be near my area. Oh my gosh, it's cold out there. And I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.